So, Jane, how do you feel about being a woman entrepreneur?
My voice.
Hello?
Thanks for coming. To be honest, I think being a woman entrepreneur, I mean, it's fantastic, and that's the beauty of it. And I think that goes back to my past working in corporate, where being a woman, it's in a predominantly male-dominated industry, corporate finance. So you actually really feel the influence of, the boys' club and what it's like to be a woman. Whereas, being an entrepreneur, you determine how successful you are. It's up to you what you do. It's not up to senior management. So you can really make of it what you want. So I think it's fantastic, and I think this is the best kind of the best path to take being a woman. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. What do you like about socializing with other women entrepreneurs?
Well, I definitely think, having been in business for the last 15 months or so, it's quite lonely. You are your only colleague, and it's not like working corporate. Friday nights you have people to go to drinks with. You have someone to, gossip around the coffee machine with. It is really lonely. But you get to, because of these meetup groups, we get to, you make your own colleagues. So you get to hang out with who you want, you get inspired by other entrepreneurs. So it's really fantastic. And, it's not like working in an office where you can be stuck sitting next to someone you don't like. You get to choose who you mingle with, and you get to effectively choose your colleagues. So I think it's fantastic. I think, us chicas got to stick together and do more meetups, all the same. Whereas everyone here, everyone you speak to tonight is going to have something completely unique to say. You'll have such an interesting conversation. So, networking events like this are just amazing. So, I employ everyone to go and mingle and, share your business cards and share your stories.
I also want to encourage everyone that talk to as many people as you can, because that's the best you can do for yourself and your business. Samantha, so what is being an entrepreneur and a leader or leadership means to you?
Firstly, before I begin, thank you, young ladies and women, for actually coming to tonight. I think that's the first step about being an entrepreneur is meeting as many like-minded people as you possibly can. So I applaud you all for actually attending. And before I answer your question as well, I think it's important to establish the not-for-profit. So we're called One Disease at a Time, and essentially our focus is to eliminate neglected diseases in Australia, the first being scabies. And I'll probably go into it a little bit more later down the line, but for me, in terms of women and entrepreneurship and the context of leadership, always ever since I've grown up, whether it was through school and being on student representative council or university and being part of the social clubs and societies, and then even thereafter in the corporate world, leadership is about service unto others. And it doesn't matter what industry you're in, but if you're a leader in that industry, then essentially you're providing only the best products and services that you can provide to your consumers or your stakeholders. So to me, very much leadership is service unto others, and it's not about having the title or wearing the badge, it's what you can do best for others. And in my case, it's the not-for-profit sector, and it's how I as an individual can make a difference to the lives of others. And I chose to go to a smaller university because it was new. I kind of looked at it as being a new frontier in education, and I liked the idea that I could go there and set up the first student association, so an independent voice for university students attending there. Going back to the story, my granddad became very ill, and I saw for the first time how stressed out my mum was, and I was very concerned for her health, and I wanted her to be able to spend as much time as she possibly could with her father. And I was working at L'Oreal, and I just said, look, I love the graduate job, it's fantastic, but what can I do for my family business? So I said, thank you, L'Oreal, trucking industry, here I come. So, going from fashion and beauty with big brands,
Luxury.
to actually then going into quite a man's world, And I got my green card. I have my steel cap boots and a construction hat, and you would often find me, supervising a crew, big Tongan men, lifting furniture, because that's essentially what we did. We did domestic and commercial removals. So it was quite interesting going from beauty and fashion into transport and logistics. And then at that time, because I didn't want to ask mum and dad for advice as much, they never asked me to join the family business. I took it upon myself. But because I wanted to look for guidance and advice, I started to come to events like these. I figured that me learning, the way that I'm going to learn the quickest is through meeting other people and learning through their experiences. So I definitely encourage going to events like this, because you learn the wisdom of so many other people, and you're able to meet with them later. And if, for example, I had an HR issue and someone in here is in HR, then I can ask for advice. Or if I'm having learning about finance and whatnot, because it's not my background, or even in my circumstances now, I don't have a medical background, yet I'm working in disease elimination. The amount that I've had to learn and understand quickly, I've gained by admitting in some instances that I need to learn, and that's okay to ask for help, because everyone at the end of the day is in the same boat. You learn from each other.
To go back to Jane and your first failure, you started your first business, so I'm very, very curious, and probably other women as well, how you managed to stand up and then do it again, and just what did you learn from that?
Yeah. So a quick background. My first business was we had pop-up stores. That's where we stocked emerging designers, and so fundamentally it was just not a great idea, and it just wasn't monetizing properly. And so basically, but then with my business partners at the time, I was kind of under this pressure because they weren't working. I was under this pressure to quit work, and I thought, if I want to get into entrepreneurship, I should take it seriously. So I quit work a month before this business collapsed. So great idea there. And then, so I pretty much had no choice but to, I really wanted to just pursue and make something for myself. I mean, just to save face, I couldn't go back to EY and beg for my job back at all. I think what's really important is as fun as entrepreneurship is, as fun as I love, working for myself, making money whilst being at home, in my pajamas, I love that. But don't get too excited about the idea of entrepreneurship before you have a solid idea. It's a funny story. So I have Asian parents, and so whoever has guess which one of us do. So whoever has Asian parents, Indian, or Eastern European, sorry, I'm stereotyping, but whoever has parents like that, you know what it's like not to, like the pressures your parents give you, or going to a selective school, working corporate, the kind of pressures you get. But so what happened was because I quit my corporate job, they gave me like a 20 grand allowance during uni, which I had to return. I went on exchange, and because I met a boy, I ended up staying twice as long. So I came back broke. My first business failed, so I was broke, living back at home, and I just quit work, and my business just failed. So what I actually did was I was living at home. I left home in my suit every day, and I wandered the streets for like half a year. And because I would have to leave before my parents do as usual, come back just after them, and carry my compendium, my fake laptop bag, which now has food instead of laptop, and just wander the streets. So, I hope that inspires you in your lowest moments